Hey guys, how's it going? Tone Fernandez with your social media lead generation tips, coming to you live here from Chicago, Illinois. By the way, guys, if you're watching this, visit our website, socialleadhub.com. We got some free giveaways there. By the way, if you're watching this live on YouTube, go ahead, click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified every time we post videos just like this. Today, guys, I want to talk about how to prep your Facebook account so that it's ready for business. A lot of times you see people who their profile is not ready for, the settings are not ready in order for them to expand their business. And a lot of the settings that you see on their account actually block them from interfering with certain people. So I'm going to go to my Facebook account and I'm going to start with a few different things. So once you go to your Facebook account, the first thing you want to do is go in the drop down menu, and you want to go to settings. Once you're done settings, you want to go to public post. In public post, the first thing you want to do is turn on who can follow you. Now, typically, it's either set to your friends or to the public. You want to make sure that that is set to the public. Now, why is that important? Well, on your personal profile with Facebook, you only have up to about 5,000 friends that you can add. But if you turn on the who can follow you feature, then you have another 5,000 friends who can follow you, meaning they can still see your content. So what that means is that's 10,000 people that you have the potential to, to see your videos, to see your lives, and to ask you about your product. When I turned on my feature, or not when I turned it on, I'm sorry, but when I looked at my feature as far as how many people were following me, I have about 500 people outside of my 3,000 plus friends on Facebook who are following me. So that was important. And here's some other things you want to do. Who can comment on your post? You want to make sure that that's open to the public. Who gets notifications when you go live. Those things you want to make sure that they're on. And then some other settings that I'll show you is about your timeline and tagging. So who can post on your timeline? What I recommend, especially for you business owners, your timeline represents who you are. It represents, it's a representation of you. And I know before I started business, I have crazy friends. I have a bunch of friends who, they're jokesters, they're pranksters, and they'll always tag me in pictures that were funny, but they were inappropriate. So what I decided to do was, who can post on my timeline? I turned that to only me. And what that means, if somebody goes to your profile and decides, hey, I'm going to, put this on Tony's timeline and I'm just going to comment this, well, they cannot no longer do that. Who can see other people post on your timeline? I put only me. And then that's for my timeline. Now for tagging, it's as important. When people tag you on random stuff, you don't want to flood your timeline with that. And here's why. Sometimes I get people who tag me on like their business posts and it's very spammy. And it's just doesn't look right. It's constant links. I don't want to be associated with that, right? I want to be able to remove that. Like I mentioned earlier, inappropriate stuff. I have friends who do that. So what you want to do is go under tagging, and then you say who can see posts that you're tagged in. So I put everybody because that's fine. Everybody can see the post I'm tagged in. And then I said, when you're tagged in a post, who do you want to add to your audience? And I put friends. But the most important is review. Under review, you want to make sure that you review post you're tagged in before the post appears in your timeline. So what that means for me is every time that somebody does try to tag me on something, I have it on review. And what happens is I get to take a look at it before I say yes, put it on my timeline, or no, hide that away from my timeline, which is important for business because like I said, your timeline, you want to make sure that if a stranger comes across your timeline, that they're able to see your content first, not a bunch of stuff that people are tagging you in. So have that review, timeline review on. That's very, very, very important. So I wanted to share some of those basic things with you that you can find right here if you scroll down and go to settings. But the most important is your followers. And I think the reason I noticed that is because I've recently been introduced to a strategy to generate leads in my business by using not only people to follow me, but following other people. And what I've noticed is as I go through some of these people's, profiles, that a lot of these entrepreneurs don't have their follow button on. So what happens, that limits their audience. Not everybody can follow them. Or if you're maxed out at the number of friends you have, then nobody else can be added to your network. And also too, I was reading an article. There's a statistic that said strangers are more likely to follow you as opposed to add you as a friend before they get to know you. And the reason being is if I follow you, I can still see your content. We're not official friends, but I can still, your content will still show up on my timeline. And I can see if I want you to make you my friend. And if everything's cool, then I can make you my official friend and add you and inbox you. So what I recommend is making sure that your post that you post on your timeline are public, that other people can see it. Make sure that you turn on the review button, so when people tag you on certain posts or certain things, you get to review it before it's put on your timeline. And most importantly, make sure that the follow button is on. And again, you go to settings, public post, who can follow me, make sure that that says public, that anybody can follow you. Now if you're living a secret lifestyle, maybe you don't want people to to find you online, I totally get that. But if you're true about business, one of the big concepts in business is the more people that are exposed to your information, the law of large numbers, then the more likely somebody is going to convert into being a client, a business partner, or a subscriber to your information. So I wanted to show you that just because I think it's important that you get everything on the right foot before you start growing your business online, or as you start growing your business online, that you're going to notice a few things. You should start putting content out there. There's going to be people who share it, your friends, and if they share that content, you're going to see a flood of people that you don't know who like that content. They're going to want to follow you, add you, they're going to want to share that information. But if your settings on your profile are all private, then you're not going to be able to scale and grow. And honestly, and social media, that's what it's for, especially if you're using it for business. It's to get past your current network to new networks, right? Because the ability to get into a brand new market, you're one person away from getting into an entirely brand new market. So why not make your Facebook, page public so that you can reach out to anyone. Now, here's some things you want to do before you make it public. You want to make sure that you're doing a Facebook audit. What I mean by that is audit, your current profile, get rid of any inappropriate things that you may have from the past. So get rid of any pictures of you blacked out drunk, you doing crazy stuff. You want to clean it up because again, the representation of you is on your timeline, your profile, your picture. Now, if you're watching this and you want a, just an audit, Facebook audit, and a strategy session, we're offering those for free. It's a free 30-minute session. Basically, what you do is you go to socialleadhub.com, or you can message me directly and I can send you my calendar link. But go to socialleadhub.com, click on the book a strategy session. You'll get added directly to my calendar. We'll get on a Zoom. I'll go with you side by side, look at your profile. If your profile is good, we'll leave it alone. But if your content, we'll look at that, and we'll take a look at creating a game plan for you so you can start generating more leads, building your audience, getting more interest for your business today. So if you're open to that free search strategy session, socialleadhub.com, or feel free to DM me. I'll send you my calendar link. Appreciate you guys for jumping on. As always, your success is important to me, guys. I'll see you guys out there out on the field.